Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Final Fantasy Brief Access video, and we're going to be reviewing the Legend of Mana units. So let's get some housekeeping out of the way. I did not make a slide for Pearl or Elazul or Duran or the other one because, well, Duran and the other one, her name escapes me right now for some reason, but they're completely different. Well, at least relatively different on global, so there's no point even talking about them really, because I'm sure most of you guys are just here just for the global part, where when it comes to global and stuff like that, just to plan ahead. So so Pearl is actually pretty good, but she does not really warrant a slide because she only got crowns and that's it. So in a team of dark team with Deus as the leader, she will put out a lot of damage because she can perfectly chain with Deus. So that is definitely a plus in my book. I didn't actually think about that because I always thought her 24 hits were kind of awkward, but now it's actually meta. She can actually chain without needing another partner, so that's actually really interesting for Dark Visions. I'll be thinking about that when I'm using her. And Elazul is pretty bad because he didn't get any, chain capping or anything like that for True Dual Wield or anything like that. Even though his S-Teamer is one-handed, you guys on global know that by now. So he's just not very good. If he would have gotten the 8 times cap while being True Dual Wield, he probably would have been meta. Even with his moving frames, you would have been able to work with it. Just you guys know how we've worked with weird units, but they're really powerful, but they're kind of awkward to use sometimes. We've done that in the past, so it's nothing that strange. But he just got some attack, a 2000 flat attack at EX2, if you upgrade the crown, of course, and he also gets a cooldown, a boost to his cooldown where he gets some mod buffs, but no stronger amps. On global, of course, he has the 100%, but that's about it. I don't think he's really good. I really don't think he's good. And Pearl will be very good, but she has 100% amp, 100% dark amp, which is not too bad. Not 150 sadly, but still 100 is okay. And her LB is a lot stronger, so she'll be able to chain with Deus, be very good on Deus team. So there's that. All right, now onto the actual review. Here there's Shiloh and his TMR, and it doesn't only have 63 attack, but I just abbreviated the most important stat on it for you guys. So 63 attack, and also 50% plant killer. That's physical and magical, of course. The S-TMR, two-handed sword, 223 attack. I don't know why it has magic on it, but it has magic on it. And then it's just like 50% all stats. I don't really care about that too much anymore. Like, that's nothing that special. And then 500 flat attack for himself, of course. So this S-TMR is really not good at all. Only really good for him, and even barely even that. So 150% amp for himself, of course. I'm still gonna mention that because maybe they'll make a unit that doesn't have it, but ever since Cloud came out, they've been doing 150% amps for strong damage dealers. And an interesting thing here, if you didn't crown Lena on the JP version, you can get a 35% fire amp on a regular ability for a field. I wish it was an Imperil, but it's an amp field. I guess if you didn't want to bring Lena, this is a good alternative. You'll lose 5%, but you get to bring someone who's a little stronger than Lena. Even though Lena's crown actually makes her pretty powerful, even on the Dark Vision Abyss teams, people were bringing Lena for her field and also for her damage. I know, it's really surprising. It's surprising that her damage is so high on a fire team. Anyways, he has 100 times mod boost for his LB SLB on a cooldown, various killers, and the SLB is a 40% sword Imperil with 2 S's apparently. 130% fire Imperil, and also 130 times fire physical damage 1 hit. Keep in mind you can use Titus S-TMR, and you also get the 100 times mod boost, so that's actually it's pretty standard at this point. The 530 times, like the 530 times at this point is kind of like the 350 times in the previous meta with like Sephiroth and stuff. So that's kind of where we've been getting. They've been kind of ever since Balthier came out, they've been trying to cut down on strong LB units like that. With the only exception of being Tyus, if you you know you can buff them up and stuff like that. But they haven't really gone over like the 530 times, you know, 500 something times. They haven't really gone any higher than that. I'm sure they will eventually, but not yet. So those are his strengths. Let's look at some weaknesses here, and this is a big weakness and something I didn't realize would be even happening, because all the other leaders have always been this and this. So for example, Laswell, the new Laswell that'll come out on Global eventually, is Ice and FFBE. So that's kind of how the formula goes. This guy is terrible as a leader because the only category that he has is for mana units, and as you guys know, or you will know now, mana units, there's not very many of them. I know it may seem like there's a giant amount of them, but there really aren't that many. So I don't understand. They're like shooting themselves in the foot with people wanting to pull for these guys, because like I was like, wow, an alternative fire leader from Rain? Wow, that's crazy. This might be a must pull banner if both of them are leader skills that are good. It's the opposite. So if you wanted to pull for a leader only, this is definitely not the banner to pull for. If you wanted to pull for his damage, even that, he falls short quite a bit compared to other damage dealers. The spreadsheet's already out in the JP version. There's some guy out there that does JP damage spreadsheets, and his damage is quite a bit low compared to other units in his category of physical units. So overall, he is at least you can use him as a fire finisher in a rain team, because there's not very many of them. At one point, Tybus was the only fire finisher, but now there's some more like this guy. So let's reveal the score here. 8 out of 10, and that's generous at best. The leader skill being annoying and terrible really drops the score down quite a lot. And like the 8 out of 10 is very generous at best. So this guy is kind of a dud. Let's see if Serafina will be any better. Alright, let's look at Serafina here. Her TMR is 62 magic, 50% plant killer again, so it's very unoriginal. And speaking of unoriginal, her TMR is a 2-handed spear, 152 attack, 223 magic, and once again 50% all stats, which is pretty worthless at this point. Really not that good. 500 flat magic for herself, of course. 150% light amp for herself, which is definitely good. Better on, I would say, honestly, on magic units especially, these are very powerful because now you have the light amp and the store buff. So you're actually getting a little ahead, and we're going to be speaking of her damage very soon. 35% light amp field. Not too bad. Not too bad on a normal ability. Not having to summon anything or use an LB. It's all just there. So it's a normal ability you can use. 160 times mod boost for LB, and a 300% store buff. Now she has a normal store buff as well that you can multicast, so there's that as well. You're not just tied to this cooldown. Various 100% killers. Sadly, on her SLB, it's a 5% less in peril than the Shiloh. I don't understand why they're not equal, because they're both the same. You can both pick them. At least what I'm told. They're kind of interchangeable, so why aren't they having the same in peril? Oh well. 35% spear in peril, 130% light in peril, 330 times light magic damage, 27 hits. And here's the damage output here, guys. I already saw it. If you invest into her a bit, she can actually output great damage with her amp and cooldown. And of course the field as well, of course. So she'll definitely putting out the damage. There is a big con, which we already talked about before. Can you guess what it is, guys? Can you guess what the big con is? If we just went over in depth on the other guy. Yeah, it's her leader skill. Her leader skill is for man units only. Like, why would you... At least for the other guy, I guess it was understandable, I guess, a little bit. Like, I can understand a little bit because they don't want people to, you know, override Rain's leader skill, I guess, because he's still new and the only fire leader currently. But like, there is 0 light leaders, so this would have been a super attractive option for people who don't have light. I mean, who want to build light teams, but you can't because this girl only has for man units only, and like I just mentioned before, very restrictive, and there aren't very many of them, and it's just not good enough. And her STMR will hold her back a bit because, unlike for other things, the two-handed spear for dark vision, the two-handed dark spear on dark vision, whenever that comes out, most likely be physical based for jumpers and things. So that's not even gonna help her either. So she will put out the good damage if you invest in her, but I really don't like that the leader skills are tied to man units only. Like that was like when I woke up and I saw that, like, what? Only man units and nothing else? Why? Why did you break the tradition already? Come on. It's like they don't want you to pull for this banner. Seriously. Alright, I'm gonna give her 8.25 just because her damage is higher than the other guy. And it's proven already that I already saw screenshots of the damage. So overall, also I'm not reviewing their vision cards because they're just very generic and not very good. And you have to go to EX3 to get them, I think. Or I think if you pull, I think on the JB side, if you pull in their banner specifically, you can actually get them, I believe. I think that's happened to me sometimes, so you can get them randomly as well, but if you don't get them during your pull session, then you have to wait until EX3, and their vision cards are the standard non-premium vision cards, so I'd just be wasting my time and wasting your time. I wouldn't be calling them very good and all that kind of stuff, so I just skip that to save you some time. Alright guys, thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you. I heard all you guys' feedback about my cloud one, and I'm gonna try my best to work on that stuff. So keep giving my feedback. I appreciate all the positive or negative feedback. I don't care what it is, as long as it is feedback, because feedback is feedback, no matter what it is. All right, guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about these units. Are they still good even with their leader skills? Not so great. Maybe someday we can make mana teams, but even then, they might have better leader skills by then, because who knows when this collaboration is coming back again. I don't know. Alright guys, I'm going to see you guys in the comment section. See you in the next video as well. Peace.